Every story is an experience, one we'll never forget. The nostalgia, the emotions, the chance to relive moments that shaped who we are. Today we step into the journey of Judith Perkins, a story of resilience, adventure, and lessons learned, a journey absolutely worth telling. This is Journey to Pacific, where every story comes to life. Let's get into this.
Hello, and welcome to the sixth and final episode in the life of George Seevers, his wife Marie, their children, and their town. My name is Judith Perkins, and I wrote the book Journey to the Pacific, One Man's Quest. I also wrote the books The Emancipation of William Jones, Jr. and Finding Love in the Trenches. All three of these books comprise the trilogy that makes up Journey to the Pacific. In the fifth episode, I told you about George and Marie traveling to Portland, Oregon to collect their daughter, Anna, and her infant son, William Jones, Jr. Just after the birth of their grandson, George was able to fulfill his lifelong dream of seeing and tasting the waters of the Pacific Ocean. He was entranced by the sight and the sound of the ocean and amazed at how salty the water really tasted. But George still had a life to live, so he and Marie took their daughter and grandson back to their home in eastern Washington. His daughter Anna did not want her baby, but was forced to care for him. She hated the idea of being confined to the house and wanted to be free of her parents' scrutiny. She did not want her baby, did not want anyone else to have him either. Anna felt that William was her possession and that she was the only one who could have a say in his care. She also resented anyone paying attention to the baby and not her. So when William was about a year old and beginning to walk, she decided to move to Lewiston, Idaho, and find a job. Her parents tried to talk her out of it, but she was determined to leave. Their inquiries as to what she would do with William while she worked were answered by, "I'll take care of it." The problem was she didn't take care of it. Anna worked the night shift and William was left on his own most of the time. There was a neighbor who looked in on him once in a while, but most of the time he was alone. Anna would feed William one meal a day, usually breakfast, and he would have to eat everything she put in front of him. She refused to spend the extra money to buy more food for him. When he finished eating, she would either go back to bed or would go to work, leaving him alone. When William was 6 years old and had started school in Lewiston, Anna decided to take a trip to Rawlins to visit her family. She packed all of William's clothes and took the train to Rawlins, intending to leave William with her parents and return to Lewiston alone. Anna arrived in Rawlins, checked in at the hotel, and went into the restaurant to see her father. Her father planned a big family dinner for the next evening with all the aunts and uncles and cousins present. William sat at the table between his mother and his grandmother. He was not allowed to dish up his own plate, nor refuse to eat anything that Anna put on his plate. Between his grandmother and mother filling his plate, he had a huge amount of food to eat, and according to his mother's instructions, he was to clean his plate. William was never allowed to leave any food uneaten. Finally, Marie realized that his plate had too much food on it and told him he did not have to eat it all. Anna immediately interrupted her mother and said, "William is my son, and I will tell him what to eat and how much to eat. The rules are that he eats everything on his plate. He will sit at the table until his plate is empty." "But Anna, it is much more than a 6-year-old can eat," Marie said to her daughter. "It might be, but it is on his plate and he will eat it. I'm his mother and I make the rules." William finally ate everything on his plate. Anna excused herself from the table and reminded those who were left that William was to sit there until he was finished eating. No exceptions were allowed. As Anna had planned, she left on the train the next day to return to Lewiston, leaving a note for her parents asking them to care for William for a while. She wrote down some instructions for them and apparently just assumed that they would take care of him. William had no social skills at all. He had never been allowed to be around other children his age. He was supposed to start school in Lewiston, but because his mother fed him a huge breakfast, he would go into the fields around his home and throw it up. Then feel so bad he wouldn't go to school. Anna refused to spend any money on William, and all of his clothes were worn and ragged. His coat was too small for him, and the soles of his shoes had holes in them. His grandparents, aunts, and uncles were very concerned about his welfare, but as long as Anna was in charge, they had no say in his care. But once she had left Rawlings, the Seevers family got together and started taking proper care of William. One of their main concerns was that William did not know how to accept or give love. He had never been hugged or told that he was loved and didn't know how to accept it. He shied away from anyone trying to hug him and even touch him in a loving manner. William was given a puppy of his own to take care of. It was a black puppy with large white patch over one eye, and William named him Patches. William and Patch went everywhere together. Patch gave William unconditional love, and William was learning to give it in return. It was a little harder when it came to his family, but he was slowly learning that giving and receiving love was not a bad thing, and he could give and receive love without being punished. Anna had left William in the care of her parents, but because of their age and the fact that they were still running a business, Stephen and Jane Taylor, William's aunt and uncle, volunteered to have him live with them. Because of Anna's jealousy and dislike of her family, Stephen and Jane decided to seek temporary custody of Williams through the court system. The Taylors petitioned the court to get temporary custody of William. They were afraid that Anna would come to Rawlings and take him back. Anna would not allow William to have a dog, so Patch would have to stay in Rawlings. An attorney from Colfax, Washington, Thomas Campbell, came to Rawlings to represent the Taylors. He sent Anna a letter regarding the custody of her son, and she went ballistic. After discussion and bickering, Anna finally gave up custody of William to Stephen and Jane. They had permanent custody of him and felt that he could now heal and learn what it was like to live in a big, loving, happy family. Unfortunately, Anna continued to cause problems, always thinking of herself, her wants and needs first. She was lonely in Lewiston by herself and missed her family. She went back to Rawlings to visit them and found out that her sister Irene was marrying Thomas Campbell. Again, Anna became very angry that she was not notified of the wedding. She went to the livery stable, took a buggy and horse, and rode out to the home of her aunt and uncle Susan and Jeff Jordan on the JSJ Ranch to confront her family. The wedding was just concluding when she arrived. She made a comment about why she was not informed of the wedding and why her sister was marrying the attorney who took her son away from her. During the time that she was having her tantrum, Patch, William's dog, ran out of the house right into Anna, and she kicked him hard to get him away from her. Patch was not seriously hurt, but William was devastated at what his mother had done. When Anna took the buggy from the livery in Rawlings, she did not know that it belonged to Judge Albert Corbin, the judge who decided the fate of William Jones and the judge who married Thomas and Irene Campbell. Anna was arrested and taken back to Rawlings and put in jail. Horse theft was a hanging offense, and the sheriff, the judge, and her parents put the fear of God in her. After spending the night in jail, she was escorted to the train and sent back to Lewiston. Valerie Seevers, the youngest daughter of George and Marie and Bill Kingman, were married a few weeks after Thomas and Irene. After their wedding, George and Marie Seevers made the decision to pack up and move to Cannon Beach, Oregon. They were both ready for some private time and wanted to be near the ocean. The town gave them a rousing send-off party. They were not sure what the city of Rawlings would be like without the presence of George and Marie Seevers. With the threat of returning to Lewiston and living with his mother eliminated, William started to socialize with boys his own age and with his cousins. He thrived in the company of his peers and soon became a kind and considerate and active child. He was learning to interact with not only other children, but with adults. Stephen and Jane loved having him around, as did Jeff and Susan when he stayed at the ranch. For a while after Anna returned to Lewiston, she was satisfied with her job as a bartender, but she eventually started to miss her family again. She also realized that she did not want to be a bartender for the rest of her life and decided to take a secretarial course at the Lewis Clark Normal School in Lewiston, Idaho. After she graduated from school and received it, she tried to get a job in Lewiston, but had no luck. She again went to Rawlings to visit with her family. They were all very wary of her intentions, but she let them know that she wanted to have contact with them, but had no intention of trying to regain custody of William. She admitted that she was not capable of raising a child and did not want the responsibility. She knew that William was much better off living with Stephen and Jane. Anna had a meeting with William while she was in Rawlings. She explained to him how she met his father, told him a little bit about his background, although she didn't know much, and she relayed to him the circumstances of his death. William felt much better about himself after he talked to her. After returning to Lewiston, Anna made the decision that she would go to Cannon Beach to visit her parents. She hadn't seen them since they moved to Oregon, and she desperately wanted to repair the damage that she had caused in their relationship. William was never very close to his cousin Jeffrey Jordan Jr. Jeffrey was also an only child, but he was raised by parents who loved him dearly and gave him every advantage that they could. Unfortunately, Jeffrey was a child who felt entitled, much like his cousin Anna, Seevers Jones. He gave orders to the ranch hands and expected them to be obeyed over the orders of the foreman. The cowboys did not like it when Jeffrey was around. When William graduated from high school, he went to the University of Washington in Seattle to study law. He was an excellent student and applied himself to his studies. Jeffrey went to Washington State University in Pullman, Washington, and studied agriculture with the idea that he would graduate and come home and run the ranch. During a trip to Pullman to visit their son, Susan and Jeff Jordan discovered that Jeffrey had quit school and was using the tuition and rent money that they had sent him for liquor and women. They were angry and disappointed with their son and realized that he would not be a good steward of the ranch, so went home and changed their will to name Seth and Daniel Kingman as co-owners of the JSJ Ranch upon their death. They were devastated at the actions of their son, but took the steps needed to keep the ranch running smoothly for the future. William had started life as an unwanted child and was abused and treated cruelly for the first 6 years of his life. But with the love and caring of his extended family, he grew into an intelligent, caring, and eventually a very loving young man who was in the process of forging a solid future for himself. Jeffrey was raised with love and caring, but squandered it all on liquor and women. The third book in the journey to the Pacific Trilogy is entitled Finding Love in the Trenches. It is the story of Jeffrey Jordan Jr. and how, after throwing away a secure future at Washington State University, lived a life of hardship and terror on the streets of Portland, and how he joined the Army just before the United States entered the First World War. Jeffrey did not read the newspapers or listen to anyone who talked about the possibility of a war breaking out in Europe. That was of no interest to him at all. He was too busy trying to stay away from the thugs who were trying to get money from him. Jeffrey owed some men quite a lot of money and could not pay it back. He was threatened with severe bodily harm if he did not pay it back. While fleeing the men, he went into an Army recruiting office, was convinced by the recruiter that by joining the Army, he would receive a monthly salary, have 3 meals a day, clean clothes to wear, and a warm place to sleep every night. That was just too much for him to resist. He was assured that he would be leaving Portland the next day and be stationed far away from the men who were after him. Jeffrey had a hard time adjusting to life in the Army. He was not used to the discipline that was required of the recruits. He did not like being yelled at and had no idea of the protocol required of the men. After basic training and when the United States declared war on Germany in April of 1917, Jeffrey was sent to France. He was assigned to an ambulance service and drove between the battlefield and the field hospital. While on a run to take injured soldiers to the nearby field hospital, he discovered that his cousin Charlotte Seevers was stationed at the same hospital. She was a surgical nurse and was taking care of the critically injured soldiers. Charlotte let him know that there was another nurse from Rawlings stationed at the same hospital, Josephine Kingman. Jeffrey was unimpressed with that news. He hated all of the Kingmans. Since his parents had decided to move to Cannon Beach to be near his aunt and uncle, George and Marie Seevers, they had signed the JSJ Ranch over to Seth and Daniel Kingman, making them the legal owners of the ranch that Jeffrey thought should be his. Charlotte tried to convince Jeffrey that Josephine was a very nice girl and an excellent nurse, but Jeffrey was not interested in talking about her at all. In the meantime, life in Rawlings moved along, but it seemed like the pace was slower. People were talking about the war and the young men from Rawlings who were involved in it. Almost every day, people would congregate on the porch of the hotel, have a cup of coffee, and read the papers that were sent from Spokane. The people who had loved ones in France were very generous in reading letters from them and telling them what was going on. Both Charlotte and Josephine wrote home to their mothers, but Jeffrey never wrote. Since William Jones Jr. was stationed in Washington, D.C., working in the Judge Advocate General's office, he didn't have a lot to say about the war when he wrote to Stephen and Jane. Stephen and Jane's 2 boys were surgeons and were both someplace in France, but they rarely wrote to their parents, and when they did, they never mentioned what was happening in the war. The war continued with devastating effects on both sides. The injuries were terrible, but Jeffrey continued to pick up off the battlefield or out of the trenches and transport them back to the field hospital. He often caught a glimpse of his cousin Charlotte, but she was just as busy as he was, and they had very little time to talk. One day, both of the girls, Charlotte and Josephine, were sitting in the mess tent having a cup of coffee when Jeffrey walked in and sat down with them. He was stunned by how pretty Josephine Kingman was. The last time he had seen her was on the schoolyard in Rawlings, and he was busy taunting and bullying several of the Kingman children. But in the trenches of France and the field hospitals, they both somehow formed a friendship. They loved talking together about their lives when they were young and what they wanted to do after the war was over. Jeffrey's attitude about his future life and what he wanted was changing. He was realizing that there was more satisfaction in living a good and honest life than what he was living before he entered the Army. One day, Jeffrey was very busy going back and forth from the trenches in the hospital with dead and mangled bodies when a bomb went off near the hospital. Jeffrey and his patients were safe, but he realized that his cousin Charlotte was badly hurt. Her leg bone was badly broken and pretty much shattered. She was operated on to repair what they could, then was sent to Bordeaux, France, and a ship headed to New York City and eventually home. Jeffrey and Josephine had been spending as much time together as they could, considering all of the work that they had to do, and had finally admitted that they had fallen in love with each other. It was a totally new feeling and experience for both of them, and they were reveling in the idea that love had come to them in such an unexpected way and place. On November 11th, 1918, Germany surrendered and the war was over. A lot of the troops were headed home, but a contingent of soldiers was staying in France to do cleanup work and to maintain the hard-won peace. Josephine was accompanying wounded soldiers on a hospital ship headed for New York, and Jeffrey was to remain in France to transport bodies from the battlefield to the area where they would be processed and either sent home to be buried in the cemeteries established in France for the Americans. The citizens of Rawlins were jubilant at the thought of the war being over and their young men coming home. They were hoping that life would get back to normal. When Jeffrey came back, he and Josephine met again at Camp Lewis in Tacoma, Washington. Jeffrey separated from the service while Josephine stayed in for a bit longer. Eventually, Jeffrey Jordan Jr. and Josephine Kingman were married and had a child. Charlotte Seevers and Seth Kingman were married. The lives of the Seevers, Kingman, and Jordan families were intertwining. George Seevers died in his beloved Cannon Beach, Oregon. Most of the Seevers, Kingman, and Jordan families, along with Anna Jones and William Jones Jr., attended the funeral. Rawlins, Washington, continued to grow and prosper with the spirit of George Seevers and his family forever in the lives of all the citizens. I hope you enjoy reading the 3 books in the life of George, his family, and his town: Journey to the Pacific, One Man's Quest, The Emancipation of William Jones Jr., and Finding Love in the Trenches. And thank you for watching and listening to these podcasts talking about the life of a young boy growing up in hardship, living a life of adventure while following a dream to see the Pacific Ocean. George Seevers built a life with his family, built a town in eastern Washington, and finally was able to live out his dream of living near the Pacific Ocean. Thanks. Goodbye.